Today we're going to take a few standing postures next to a supportive wall or post or pillar of some kind. Something that doesn't move that you can put a little weight into if you lose your balance. You can also use a chair pushed up against a wall, but it has to be really stable. We'll start with just a simple side bend. So take Tadasana, mountain pose. Feet together or hip width apart, outer edges of the feet parallel. Inhale as you reach your arms up overhead, any way you like, but externally rotate so the elbows are pointing forward here. Then as you exhale, lean towards your wall or pillar. Place one hand on the wall or on your post or pillar, and then continue to lean as you breathe deeply until you feel a stretch somewhere along this side of the body. Curve into a C shape as much as possible. You can even push your hips away from your wall and then take your shoulders away from your ears. Get the neck nice and long. If the head is starting to crane forward, take your top hand, put it behind your head, and press your head back a little to bring it back in line with the rest of your spine. Now push the wall away, at least with your bottom hand, but maybe even reach those fingertips over to the wall or the pillar if it's higher than mine is here. And start to press the wall away. And now just breathe deeply. Optional, turn to look up from underneath your arm, but if that hurts the neck, look straight ahead. Inhale as you expand the side. Exhale as you relax it. And then slowly inhale. Use the wall to help you come all the way up through center. Again, turn the elbows towards the front. And you're going to turn around if you only have one wall or pillar. I'm going to go the other way so you can continue, seeing my front body as we take the other side. But you may need to turn around to do this. Same thing over here. Your bottom hand pushes into the wall or pillar first. Your top hand is reaching, but it may not touch it first. Let the exhalations take you further into the side bend as you breathe. Now you're conscious of what's happening from your feet, so press down through all four corners of each foot, all the way up through this side body where you're breathing deeply, and even into the head. So remember, you can always take your hand behind your head and press your head back a little in order to find that alignment so it doesn't feel like you're straining through the neck at all. Take another deep breath here, expanding and relaxing. Inhale as you come up through center. Good. So now we're going to take the arms down to the sides, walk the feet apart, and turn your toes towards your pillar or your wall. This time we're coming into triangle, so we want a pretty wide space in between the feet. And as you exhale, tip the pelvis now. Your pelvis is like a bowl. Tip the bowl of your pelvis over towards your wall or pillar until you feel a stretch along the inner or back leg. When you're ready, touch the wall or whatever it is that you're using for a nice sturdy support. And at first, try not to put too much weight into this arm that's pressing into your wall or your pillar. Instead, lift in and up through the abdominals and tip that pelvis a little further over the leg to find the stretch. The neck is neutral here. Optional, take that top arm up towards the ceiling or towards the wall that you're using and breathe. And then as you inhale, use your legs. Push your legs down into the mat to come up to center. You'll probably turn around to keep using your wall for the other side. And then tilt your pelvis out over the leg that's stretching more. Lift in and up through the abdominals and the pelvic floor. Take your bottom hand to your wall or to your pillar just for a little bit of support so that you know you've got something there if you begin to wobble. And then optional, turn a little bit, the chest, the rib cage up towards the ceiling, reach that top arm high. Now my toes are pointing towards my wall. Even those back toes are turned in a little bit, about 5 or 10 degrees. And then I'm pressing into the wall with the bottom hand and lengthening through the sides of the torso, from the hips to the underarms. Get that as long and tall as you can. Take one more good breath here. And then push through the legs. Inhale, come all the way up through center. Now as you exhale, we're going to take the feet even wider apart. Bend the knee that's closest to the wall. Wiggle your toes all the way up against the wall or the pillar in order to come down into a deep, wide lunge. Keep working the feet apart. You can even go until this right thigh is parallel to the floor and the right knee is directly above your heel and your ankle. Now, as you reach out, the hand with the bent leg should be able to touch the wall or the pillar. And you're going to take the arms in line with your shoulders. Look towards the hand with the bent leg. Keep the bent knee pressing out towards the baby toe side of that foot so that it's not veering in and twisting at the knee. Take another deep breath here, reaching up through the crown of your head. And then inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, we're going to switch sides. So if you're turning, try taking a big side step to get closer to your wall before you turn around for the other side. On your next exhalation, take the feet wide apart, a nice light step, and turn towards your wall. We're doing the other leg now, turning both toes towards the wall. The bent knee is directly above the ankle and the heel. Take the feet as wide apart as you need to until you feel this stretch somewhere in the legs or the hips. And then lift up out of that, pushing the floor away with your feet, reaching up through the spine, reach out through your hands. Now you should be able to touch your wall or your post with the hand that's over the bent knee, and breathe. And then as you inhale, straighten the leg. As you exhale, work the feet a little closer together. And then again, try a big step to bring the feet together in as large a lateral side step as possible. So your transitions are done in concert with the breath, just as the postures are. 2 more postures here. As you exhale, step out wide. Turn towards your wall, and this time, square your hips to the wall as well. Bend your front knee, and then if you don't feel a stretch, you'll need to take your feet a little bit further apart. For this one, my feet are on train tracks instead of on a tightrope. So I've got 2 separate lines for my feet, right lane and left lane of the train tracks, and that allows me to press this left hip forward as I draw the right hip crease back. The pelvis wants to tip way forward, so lift the front rim of your pelvic bowl and then lift the back bottom rim of your rib cage to lengthen the low back here. And you can keep fingertips on the wall or on the pillar here. When you feel steady, reach the left arm up, breathing deeply. So we're using a wall or a pillar in order to find balance. We want to make sure that if we start to wobble, we can catch ourselves easily, but we're not putting a lot of weight on the wall or the pillar. Drop the shoulders and sink down into your lunge, just making sure that this front knee stays above the heel and the ankle. Don't let it go out over the toes, as that can create a lot of knee strain. 1 more good breath. And then inhale, straighten this right leg. Exhale, turn to the side. Again, take a big step to come to standing Tadasana. And then you're either going to turn around to use your wall or your pillar, or find another wall or pillar, take a big step out and take the other side. Again, feet are on train tracks, so it may take a little wiggling, but it's worth it because then you can press the right hip forward, Draw the left hip back. Lift the front rim of the pelvis and the back low ribs so that you're lifting up through the entire spine. This is called axial extension. The axis of your spine, the center line of your spine, is growing taller. It's extending. Keep your hands on your wall or on your pillar and your left knee above your ankle as you breathe. Optional right arm up. And then inhale, straighten that left leg. And as you exhale, wiggle the feet a little bit closer until you can take one big step back to Tadasana. Inhale, last posture here. Face your wall or your pillar. Your hips are completely squared. And as you exhale, step the left foot back. You may even want to walk your feet a little further away from the wall than we have been, so that as you fold forward, your head doesn't bump into your support. Keep your fingertips on the wall or the pillar, and then if you're getting more flexible through the back of your leg and your hip, you may find that you want a chair pushed up against the wall so your hands can come a little lower. Avoid making the spine round in order to touch down low. Instead, keep one hand on your wall or your pillar or your chair. Take the right hand to your right hip crease and draw it back. Feet can be on train tracks for this one as well. But lift in and up through the abdominals and keep the chest open like it is in Cobra. And keep that neutral spine and open chest as you fold forward. Again, use the support to keep your balance here. The left arm can be on the support. The right hand can be on your hip, drawing it back. And if you feel the spine start to round or come into a cat shape, lift up the chest like Cobra. Even if it means lifting out of the pose a little bit, find that neutral spine. Especially if you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, you don't want to be rounding the spine as you bear weight with those back muscles. So keep it nice and neutral. Use the support for steadiness. Inhale as you come up, one big step towards your wall or your pillar to Tadasana. As you exhale, step the right foot back. My right foot is turned out a little bit here, but my right hip is going forward. This time I'm going to take the left hand to the left hip and slowly fold forward. Fingertips support me with that right hand on the support structure. And the left hand draws the left hip back as I fold. So if this is very tight here in the back of the leg, you may find you have to stay up here for a neutral spine. Breathe deeply, keep the shoulders back and the head nice and neutral. And as you exhale, you'll find you can go a little deeper without rounding the spine at all. Breathe that Ujjayi breath. And as you inhale, rise. Exhale, step your feet together, Tadasana. So this is a simple standing series that you can do any place where you have a wall or a post or a fence that's sturdy. You don't need anything at all else, not even a mat. Just find your breath and do your standing sequence for some hip openness and core stability. Thanks.